Well, I had a very nice break, starting with after we left, I went and got LASIK surgery, which is, I will eventually go over the entire process. It's going very well.
Good.
I'm going to say that the day after LASIK, I was ready to go see Ozzy at the Garden.
I got your voicemail.
Oh, did you actually have that?
I think so.
See if you have it, because,
go ahead, talk. I'll try to find it.
I wanted to go and see. I'm like, well, can we get backstage? Is that possible? So I called my agent, and he actually contacted Sharon Osbourne's production and got us badges to go backstage. There was a Christmas party, a VIP Christmas party that Ozzy and Sharon were hosting guests.
You?
Yeah.
Oh, what a best Christmas
It
ever for a
was.
young boy.
But I left open message because I was so embarrassed. I'll just tell you what happened. We got there at the Garden. We got there so early.
I got it.
You got it?
I don't know if it'll listen to this.
Oh, it should play.
Can't hear it.
Yeah, it's going to be too low. All right, how do we do this? I'll give it to somebody. We'll figure it out. But anyway.
That's okay. We got to the Garden really early. And we were walking around. It was really embarrassing because there was nobody there yet. And, they hadn't even, opened the doors. We had these laminates, which allowed us to go everywhere. And there was this VIP Christmas party before the show. And, my girlfriend and I got there. We got there while they were setting up the Christmas party. Some guy, there was, a bunch of people, just kind of putting things together. And there's a guy, with a Santa pants on and the Santa jacket not even on. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, we're here for the party. He's like, who are you here to see? I'm like, Ozzy and Sharon. And he's like, dude, that doesn't start until, we were 35 minutes early.
Oh,
so we kind of get
over-eager little guy.
Dude, we actually walked into this stairwell and just stood in this stairwell at Madison Square Garden and looked out, where the elevators go, and kind of looked out at traffic and hoped we didn't get thrown out. It was really embarrassing, but we didn't get
That's the message I got, because he's like, they're still setting up. I'm such an idiot. I'm here early.
Yeah,
I feel like such an idiot.
We're over-eager little guy.
Yeah, they're still bringing in the wreaths.
Yeah,
the holiday wreaths.
Smashing me for a good half
And
hour.
she should have.
Yeah.
All right.
You're like the little kid that can't sleep on Christmas morning.
Exactly what it was like. The guy was, I'll never forget him going, what are you here for? I'm like, Ozzy and Sharon? Almost 40. It's not even about slavery anymore. After slavery, if things had been done the way they said they were going to be done, we would not be dealing with this now.
Big fleet of ships?
Yes, absolutely. A giant adios. Fucking 2 million people on the Queen Mary. Godspeed. No, we would not be dealing with this shit. But it wasn't. So what happens is those fucking jizzbags that didn't do what they were supposed to do have now fucking pushed this onto our plate 200 years later or 150 years later. That's why we're still feeling it.
But as long as they're still preaching like this, it'll continue. I think I could turn it around and say, well, it's almost better that they remember those days because they could see the contrast of how much better it is now than it was then, and you should be, count your blessings.
Do you feel grateful you were married because you now have a contrast comparison to make, or would you like to undo those 9 fucking wasted years?
Look, you cunt.
So what are you guys trying to say?
I don't know. Jimmy's an ass,
but no,
and I love him.
Kick the thing again.
Well,
Kick it.
Someone will get the hint, and they'll fix it. Well, here she is on the Today Show.
Rosemary Schell is with us exclusively, along with her attorney, Lydia Sartain. Good morning to both of you.
Where's the attorney?
Rosemary, first of all, your reaction to this jury decision of $150,000. Were you surprised by the amount?
A little bit, but I was thrilled. I feel like justice was really...
They weren't married.
Justice.
What are we doing?
Do you know what the word justice means, you dummy?
That's right.
I felt that justice was miscarried. Unless that's the next word.
This guy doesn't owe her crap.
I felt that Jesus would be very happy.
I feel like justice was really done.
Engagements, as sad as it is, are broken all the time. Why did you feel the need to take legal action?
Primarily because he made a promise to me.
Primarily because I'm a hood.
He made a promise to me. You know what? Promises aren't always kept. And it doesn't mean that he owes you $100,000. It means you could call him an ass, worse. You could call him whatever the hell you want. But where does that then give her the right to get over $100,000 of this guy's money because he broke this promise to marry her? Oh, God, I hate this stuff.
Primarily because he made a promise to me, and I relied on that promise and gave up a lot of things because of that promise.
Well,
and I suffered significantly for it.
You gave up, in particular, a good-paying job.
Too bad. Maybe your judgment should be fixed.
Right.
Find other guys.
That's called life. See, people don't understand. It's called life. Life is this thing that you go through. Point A is being born, and then point B is croaking. And in between is something called your life. And there's no guarantee that promises are kept and decisions that you make are going to be good ones all the time, and that other people are responsible for those decisions. This bitch!
It's not going to be a smooth ride.
No.
It's going to have bumps in the road.
Of course.
Maybe she did deserve the money, though. I mean, like, if
What?
Jimmy!
If the
Come
guy...
here. Suck it.
No,
Come
no.
here. Come here.
I'll do that anyway.
Come here.
I'll do that simply for the gig. No, but if the guy promised to do a certain thing and she gave up a job, it's like his
Doesn't matter.
actions
That's her
That's
problem.
her judgment on him, how trustworthy this guy is. Should she have said, you know something, I got a pretty good job here, fella. Maybe I'm not ready to give it up.
Yeah, but he promised to marry her, so she's like, I'm going to have this life with this guy, and he just dumps her. I mean,
I love Jimmy playing the reasonable voice
I
of
swear, I want to take his cute face and smush it. I want to squeeze it.
why? It's kissable.
I know it
I'm
is.
adorable when I
I
shave.
want to squeeze it.
Maybe it's time that men start realizing the ramifications of their actions.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, for too long, women have been dragged into these kind of situations with no recourse from the criminal justice or the legal system.
God.
I think this is a good thing. I think this is a movement in the right
This is
direction.
good. This is good. Precedent-setting thing. This
Yeah.
is great.
Let's have a cage match. Ant and I versus you two. Let's go.
This
go.
is...
Depends on what Geraldo has done that morning.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, all right, it might be a good one. But if he's on one of his wonderful runs, I take me and Geraldo anytime. I'll just stand behind him and watch him Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
We got David Duchovny. He's walking up the stairs. So you want to get to the end of this clip, or you want to just wait?
Walking up the stairs, where?
Let's do that.
The elevator, you mean?
They said stairs.
Where?
It's very healthy.
I don't know.
Take the stairs.
A good-paying job.
Yes.
By moving.
Yes, a lot of things. And, you know, I just felt like people shouldn't be allowed to do people that way.
You know, Wayne Gibbs, your ex-fiancé, has said that one of the reasons he broke off the engagement is because when you moved back to be with him, he paid off a lot of your debt and then realized you had even more debt, and that gave him cold feet. Decided maybe I'm not going to go all the way here and marry this woman. What's your reaction to that?
That's simply not true. We discussed my debts before I left Florida. We discussed my debts when I came back from Florida. He had a list. He knew exactly what I owed.
So there is
That's
debt.
just kind of a smokescreen he put up.
Smokescreen? Oh. She goes, no, that's simply not true. We discussed the debts. Oh, so you're admitting there were debts that he did pay. Ugh, this leech. Just to take, you know how you get rid of her? You gotta grab her close to your skin and then put a cigarette butt on her ass so the head doesn't break off under your skin and get infected.
Hell no.
You're a tick!
We got to get the guy on our show.
Yeah.
Can we hunt him down?
Yeah, look for a man crying.
He'll have a
with his
different story
checkbook
to
out.
tell. We got more audio.
I
This
think the bottom line is, though, like, normally I would agree against it, but if the guy promised to marry her and then she gave up, the thing that convinces me is that she gave up the job. And if you give up that kind of money and the guy just backs out, it's like,
I thought you were kidding all this
You're
time.
not really.
So did I.
I was playing along.
Jimmy is just a douche.
Why?
Because how could you even defend this woman?
I'm not actually, and I know it's a weird position to take, but it's like, only the job.
The job.
First of all, it's the role. You're not. It's not even if you agree that she's right. Even if you agree that she's right, the question is, how could she have access to the courts? These are our tax dollars. So that this is a system. The governmental system is now being used to settle private nonsense like this. I mean, it's
if she would have gotten married and left the job, that's one thing. I don't even agree with that, but you know, that's what, at least she'd have a leg to stand on in this one. A promise like, yeah, look, we're going to have this great life together. We're going to get married. You leave your job. You come out, you move with me. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
That's what everyone says in marriage. It's not like, hey, don't leave your job because I don't know what the hell, where this is going.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be all full of sparkles and romance at that point.
We should explain. We got David Duchovny in studio. David, while we were waiting for you, we played audio. I want to get your take on this real fast, then we'll get into the X-Files and stuff.
Is it me?
No, nothing.
All right, good.
We have a.
All right, good.
We have a. It's not on TV anymore.
Okay.
We have this woman. She was going to get married, and the guy at the last second decided he needs to bail. He's like he didn't feel good about the situation. Right. She had some debt, and we're thinking maybe some other things were going on. She turned around and got a lawyer, sued the guy for backing out of the marriage. They weren't married. She won $150,000.
It doesn't make sense.
There was no contract of it. It was just a verbal.
They weren't even
But
married
he did
yet.
promise, and she did give up a good job.
Jimmy, I'm going to smack you in the head.
I promise. You promised.
But, I mean, it's like a contract. It's a verbal contract in a way.
What is a verbal contract?
Well, like she agreed to move and relocate
Well,
for
he's
him.
just a liar. But do you get? Is that illegal?
Well, not illegal, but he's not being put in jail. But he is being taken to task.
Thank God, the voice of reason, David Duchovny.
Gloria Allred
I would like it better if he went to jail for fibbing.
For telling a fib.
But it's setting a precedent now. Now you could get sued before you even get married.
Well, then you just can't make a promise when someone's got a $150,000 job on the line.
Shut up. I don't like the way
We don't know if he's.
What about if
BSing us or what? But
Well, he used unkind.
I don't think he is.
He plays the devil's advocate all the time, and I want to really smash him.
We have to. David Duchovny obviously is doing this.
Hey, you guys want to finish up with his fiancée that was jilted and then?
Hey, she got screwed over. I mean, I normally wouldn't take that tact.
You taking her side
But I'm not completely.
is infuriating me.
But I know it's funny, but I'm actually not. But there's something to it that we don't know. Because you can't just.
No, there isn't.
This is going to set a precedent then.
Hell, you know
she
what?
was promised something.
That didn't happen.
And it didn't happen.
That's life.
It's called life.
Yes.
You can't then say, I want $100,000 because it didn't pan out.
But she's not saying that because she gave up the job. That's the only difference. It's not like she's saying.
Who cared? She gave up the job.
They weren't married.
That's what the decision she made. She made a life decision. If every life decision I made that went down the crapper I was able to sue for, I would never have needed this radio job. I've been rich years ago. Forget about it. You make decisions in life. A lot of times, more times than not, they suck.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys want to hear the lawyer?
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that she was entitled to the money. Sick of effing lawyers, too.
Hey, the lawyer got her $150,000 from...
Gold in my ear was her lawyer? Her lawyer, Bella Abzug.
Got her 150 G's. Yep. Got her 150 G's and they weren't married. Here's the lawyer, what he has to say.
Lydia, I've never heard of a case like this where somebody can, accuse somebody of basically jilting them, right, and end up with this kind of an award because engagements, as I said, are broken all the time. So what convinced the jury that Rosemary deserved this settlement?
It's really not an unusual case. It's not unheard of, and there's this cause of action in states across the country. Here, we were, of course, concerned about it because Gainesville Hall County is a very conservative area, very Republican. Juries are conservative and render conservative verdicts, and so we really debated quite extensively whether to bring the case, but we just felt so strongly that in this case, he had told her to quit her job in reliance on his promise. He came to her in Florida and moved her back into his house, took steps above and beyond the usual, will you marry me, let's plan a wedding, and then somebody backs out. Here, he caused her to do things in reliance on his promise. He knew he was having her do it, and really, we believe now that he never intended to follow through on the promise to marry.
Don't believe any of that. First of all, it's coming from a lawyer. You should see what they say. You should just see what they write down as fact. And you read it and go, what fantasy novel is this? And I'd like to hear his stupid lawyer's side of it, too.
It's only the fact that it's like she's saying that the jury said yes. So there must have been, like, he must have promised her other stuff. You know what I mean? It's like they didn't just say, well, he broke off the engagement. She gave up her job, and on his promise, he moved her in. And then, look, the jury said, look, you're liable for that. You can't just have somebody quit their job and uproot their life.
Yeah, but the problem is the flood. Sounds like Jimmy wants to open the floodgates of litigation.
Yes.
No, it's just,
You're on a slippery slope, my friend.
Slippery
I'm only
slope
saying.
toward perdition.
I want to see how Jimmy spins the next piece of audio.
But I'm not even spinning it. That's just what my take on it.
All right,
You're spinning.
You're spinning.
Like the little Jimmy out in the outfield. You're spinning. Lately.
Do you think this is going to set a precedent?
I hope it sets a precedent.
Die! Evil bitch.
Shame. Yes. Shame.
You hope.
Look, I mean, I know it's stupid, but why should that woman have given up her job and moved and uprooted everything if the guy had no
But
intention
even
of
if she
marrying her?
shouldn't have, why should it be legally enforceable? That's the point. Because then any single person, anytime you break off a relationship, a person could make the argument that they gave up a lot because they were expecting you to marry them. And then it means every single person has a potential lawsuit. Now, every broken marriage has a potential lawsuit. Every broken engagement or relationship has a potential
Or any promise. What about a promise from an employer, let's say, that says, all right, we'd like to hire you. You kind of relocate. And then massive cutbacks, or something happens. There was a scandal in the company. Now you gotta move back. Do you sue the company? Is that what happens?
It's different.
Everyone
though.
gets sued. Why is that different? There was a promise that was made.
Yeah,
Hey,
just as she moved, she gave up $100,000 a year job. It's like, I know, it's like, it's a lot of money to give up on this guy.
then she's stupid. Her judgment is bad. Why give her $100,000? Because she's got crappy judgment.
He said he would help her pay off. It's almost, I know what you mean, like you can't sue for a personal infraction, but,
So he's giving her money to pay off her debt anyway.
yeah.
And because it's not enough, it's not good enough, he should pay her more money. This is such garbage. It's such enabling the feeble woman who can't take care of herself, who made a stupid decision, but blame it on the man because women are much too stupid to take responsibility for their own decisions. This is more demeaning to women than any glass ceiling, sexual harassment, or other bull that these lawyers that latch on to these women try to pull over on guys.
Let's get this clip out of the way. 'Cause we gotta get out of here. Something else is going to happen here that's going to, piss you off.
Do you think this is going to set a precedent?
I hope it sets a precedent with folks that when you contract or where you give your word to do something and you cause people to rely on it to their detriment, then you may be held accountable for any damages that you cause. I mean, that's really not a precedent. We've been living by that, forever.
All right.
It's important.
Rosemary, I know that you have the ring there in the box, so
Yes.
you held on to the engagement ring.
Yes.
Can we take
Does
a
it
look?
hurt?
Do you know how much that is worth?
Stand her.
Bravo. Bravo, my friend.
You held on to the engagement ring. Can we take a look? Do you know how much that is worth?
No, I really don't. I'm sure it's worth a lot. I've heard different amounts, but
Are you going to sell it?
yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
Means nothing now.
All right, well, Rosemary, thank you so much for joining us. Lydia as well.
Throw it away or
Thank
give
you.
it back if it's nothing.
If it means nothing now,
Yeah.
give it back to the guy at least.
Excuse me, she promised me jobs for the entire course of our engagement and then subsequent marriage. Please, I would like $100,000 worth of jobs, please.
I relied on it to my detriment. I stopped touching myself.
Exactly.
I've experienced severe buildup.
I'm sure there were promises she made to him that aren't going to be carried out.
You can't uproot somebody's life and not...
We're not listening anymore.
I will not listen to Jimmy's feeble argument.
The fact that anybody could believe that I would side with this pig. The fact that it started as a goof, like I figured I'd play devil's advocate, nobody would buy it, and then all of a sudden I watched you get annoyed, and it was like, oh, this is wonderful.
I love Jimmy Norton.
This woman should not only get no money, she should have an axe buried in her chest. How could you think I would side with this pig? Of a
This is
woman?
how unpredictable Jim Norton is.
She's awful, and that lawyer is awful.
You know what, though? In a weird way, she does have a point.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
It should be a fake cone under her shirt because one is missing. That should be the point she has. This blight on society.
Did you just say a blight?
Blythe.
society.
No, Blythe. Boss would say Blythe because he likes Danner. That woman.
We got to get out of here.
I hate this woman. I don't want anybody thinking I sided with her. Now Duchovny thinks I'm a liberal fruit. I was kidding if he's listening.
Greg Giraldo, thank you.
Thank you, man.
We're going to see you a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
And in 10 minutes.
You're going to have a really good time. Yeah, we're going to continue on XM with Greg. PNC Bank Art Center next Saturday. Get your tickets now, okay?
I hate that woman.
I know.
I had to get
Jimmy.
this out. I've been lying for an hour.
Thank you, Jimmy.
She get nothing.
Of course.
A fist right in her ribs. Here you go. And I'll give the ring back, pig.
At least give the ring back. Exactly.
She should get nothing and give the ring back.
Yep.
Hopefully it'll be overturned.
Yeah, I hope so.
She'll be
Feel
forced to copulate with a donkey.
Oh, did you have me? Yesterday was all about creepy gay kid.
Oh, wow.
And today it's going to be all about Norton getting sued.
Jimmy Norton. Our own
Jimmy Norton. Welcome back, Jimmy.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Jimmy's been in L.A. for pretty much the whole week. He comes back to find that some, in my opinion, douche is suing him.
Mommy, I need attention, Mommy.
Yeah, it was in the papers. In the papers. Both the paper, New York papers here, Daily News and the Post, about how this lawyer that had been on our show on the phone, he had a lawsuit. What was the initial lawsuit he had?
He was suing, I believe, because,
It was ladies' night. He was suing.
Right,
I think exactly what he was suing for.
clubs and bars for having ladies'
night. Because he thought it was sexist, gender, I guess, exclusive.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
And we were having a discussion with him about that.
Yeah.
And then we just wanted to know about other things he was involved in, and his take on other, social issues. And he was called out, in Jimmy's opinion, as being a phony.
Yep.
And in our opinion, the guy came across as, at least, I'll say in my humble opinion, as a hypocritical, and he really took offense to that. And Jimmy,
Well, the funny thing is we
started being the comedian he is.
Yeah, it started out as a real interview, like, wow, this guy's suing, let's get him on the phone. And then, it turned ugly because we were like, what? This guy is
Yeah, he had this, and at first we were on his side.
Completely
on his side. He was able to actually turn us around and make us not like him
within a half hour.
Yeah.
You know how much I have to hate you for you to be suing an annoying woman's cause and for me to fight you on it?
Yeah, exactly.
What a tool you have to be.
So let's read this. And Jimmy, you do what you feel like you could do because you're being sued by this guy.
Yeah, I know. He's a crack lawyer.
Yeah. The headline in the Daily News: lawyer cries foul.
I get it.
FOWL, which is very key to this story.
Yes.
There's a lot of laughs in this article. I got to be honest, Jimmy.
It's one thing to hear it, to sit here and hear it. But then when you read some of these things in print, even funnier.
Suit claims Opie and Anthony co-host defamed him with chicken gag, insults.
Yeah.
One vile insult apparently deserves another.
By the way, this Jose Martinez who wrote this Daily News article, I have a couple of small issues with.
All right.
I'll get to him.
You jump in when you want
All
to,
right.
Jimmy. So a Manhattan lawyer trashed on the Opie and Anthony show as a dumb...
bunch of lines.
And a bunch of lines. Is that for
I don't know.
A bunch of lines. So
wouldn't it be a blank blank?
I don't know. AH they should just put.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's that. Okay.
It is that.
Oh, it is that. Okay. All right. So a Manhattan lawyer trashed on the Opie and Anthony show as a dumb what could we say they're at?
Well, it would be a
dumb lawyer.
The AH word.
You know what it is. It's where you expel food.
Yes, it's
there
where,
you go.
Yeah.
All right, we got it. who wants to have sex with chickens, is suing the potty mouth comic who ripped him on air, calling him a coward.
Well,
self-proclaimed anti-feminist Roy Hollander, who last year sued Columbia University over a women's studies program that's what it was.
Yes. That wasn't the lawsuit.
the women's studies program, right.
That demonizes men, filed the suit.
Oh, and then we had gotten into a discussion about other groups that have their own studies programs. Yeah. He was so against the women's study programs. So we're like, well, what about schools that have exclusive black study programs? And he thought that was fine and dandy and there was no problem with it. And that's when we called him out as being a hypocrite.
Right.
Because if one group, if he agrees that one group should have this, then why not another? And he wasn't able to make a point as to why he was against the women having their own study group, but blacks can have their own, and everything is fine and dandy. But
this started as a legit interview.
Yeah,
I want to.
I'm the one who wanted
clear.
him on because I like. Yeah. This is why I just hate this guy, because I legitimately like the fact, because I think sometimes those study groups are men bashing. Yeah. And I was actually on his side. That's what annoys me so much about this guy.
All right. It blasts celebrity hound funny man Jim Norton.
Celebrity hound.
It's like, what,
I love that. Like you're chasing celebrities.
Hey, Jose,
what you do.
Yeah, what's with the adjectives? Just right. What are you doing?
Celebrity hound. It sounds to me like he might be a listener. And he's kind of throwing these things in, because it's funny.
Maybe,
it is funny to call you a celebrity hound.
Fantastic.
You're just running around with a Sharpie.
That's accurate.
Could you please sign this, Bob?
He could have said it blasts boob funny man, idiotic funny man, irritating. There's many words he could have used.
Of course. It blasts celebrity hound funny man Jim Norton, an Opie and Anthony co-host, as a phony and a loser who wastes much of his empty life trying to revolt people.
Can I please wonder? I have to see that. If I've not seen this, like paperwork, are those words in the paperwork? Is that actually an illegal document?
Yeah, because
if it is, I have to have that framed.
You got to.
if you're that upset that you want to strike back, guys, I want to be heard. If you need to be heard that badly that you have to insult somebody through a lawsuit just because that gets your insults into the newspaper, like, would you actually in a legal document put that someone is a phony and a loser who wastes much of his empty life trying to revolt people?
Yeah, he's assuming your life is empty.
Not even that bad of an assumption. I mean, I pay for prostitutes. Fair enough. But why in the legal document, sweetie?
You might be able to countersue because,
and talking
accusations here, my friend.
and talking to this gentleman on the phone, we started delving a bit into his personal life and talk about empty and lonely and desperate. His dance, what was it? He went to a hip-hop class?
Yeah, hip-hop dance class.
Hip-hop dance class.
I think we got his MySpace and we're making fun of a lot of the stuff that he was into.
Oh, did we tease
Put it this way. This guy, to me, is creepy old guy trying to get young chicks. And for me to say that, wow.
Yeah.
that is really saying something.
You're talking to Anthony, the substitute teacher, Comia.
Let's continue. So, the men tangled during Hollander's August appearance on the Opie and Anthony show on XM Satellite Radio, where an interview about Hollander's beef with Columbia went X-rated in a hurry. I had never heard of Opie and Anthony, Hollander said. I just went on there as if it were just another radio talk show.
Well, it is just another radio talk show, but I have trouble believing that anyone who lives in New York who is hasn't heard of the Opie and Anthony show.
He heard of us.
Yeah.
He heard of us.
Well, he's a lawyer. I mean, that's,
lawyer. That says enough right there.
Exactly. Right. Hopefully he'll wind up like other lawyers, like Johnny Cochran.
Old Puddinhead.
The lawyer says Norton defamed him in an obscenity-laced tirade. Hollander also said the star of HBO's comedy showcase Down and Dirty, which is on Friday nights at midnight on HBO.
Nice plug.
Right after the Bill Maher show. With Jim Norton called him a phony at least 10 times and joked that the chicken crossed the road to avoid having sex with Hollander.
Do you know how great that is? Thank you for putting that.
Right.
Of course, it's fantastic.
Hence the headline, Lawyer Cries Foul.
Yeah.
I called him a phony.
Yeah.
Like, you're a phony.
You so got him on that one. Wow, he must have been hurt.
Like, what a funny word to put in the paper. Accused him of being a phony baloney.
A phony baloney.
Made fun of his dance classes.
I just love how the "why did the chicken cross the road" joke got in the paper.
I know.
With a fantastic answer.
Of course it is, because it wanted to avoid having sex. Like, first of all, if that was the truth, that's a legitimate reason for any chicken to cross the road. If a chicken is not sexually attracted to a human, why wouldn't it cross the road? We're bigger than they are.
Yeah.
Tony, they're scared.
Of course they are. What would you do if King Kong wanted to have sex with you?
You're crossing the road.
Hopefully to hide from it.
Yes.
Poor chicken.
Tony in California.
Yeah.
Hi, Tony.
Good morning, man. Happy birthday, little Jimmy.
No, come on, let's go.
Go, get to the point.
Isn't this the same guy that challenged you to a duel somewhere down in a South American country or something like that?
Yes, I believe this is the same man who, while we were arguing, said that it's legal to duel in another country, so we should fly down and duel.
I believe it was Peru or somewhere.
Yeah, and he was dead serious. He wanted to duel Jimmy in this some country.
So basically what that's saying is, in the middle of this argument, which is all it turned into, was just a name-calling argument, that he thought it would be appropriate to fly somewhere and get guns, and one of us shoot each other dead.
Yeah. That was his solution.
That's your solution.
Jimmy's solution is to use his comedic talents to bring a little fun, sarcasm to the conversation, and his was to shoot you dead.
Yeah. It's like, that was your idea. Like, we should, like my question was, would we go to the airport together? Would we meet at, like, all right, I'm going to take JFK. What flight you taking? I got the 8:30, but I don't think there's any aisle seats. How about this? You take the 8 o'clock, and I'll meet you down there. You want to split a cab? I mean, one of us is going to shoot the other to death in a duel.
You might as well split a hotel room, too.
Yeah, and look, does whoever shoots the other to death in the duel, do we call the kin of the next of kin, or should we allow our friends to do it? What do you think?
Should you get a two-way ticket? Because you don't know who's flying back.
Should we fly first class because those are refundable, and you figure, look, I kill you.
You might as well, because one
of us ain't coming back.
One of us ain't coming back.
One guy doesn't have to pay the bill, so. Tad in Illinois had something. Listen, the listeners know more about this story than we do, because it was just one of those dumb things we did. We do a lot of crazy stuff.
You were just another one in the long line of idiots we've had on the phone.
Yeah, you're just a throwaway segment, but now the listeners have to help us out and remind us of stuff. This guy was going to say that this guy set up the chicken joke because he goes, "You're a comedian, say something funny."
I believe that was true, which is just hilarious.
So,
and I think it was a damn good one.
It was a doozy.
It really was. But
Lulu.
Now we know why this show was never replayed, because the boys behind the scenes were hinting, So I guess something was going on behind the scenes that no one told us about. Yeah. Now this is a valuable segment to the Opie and Anthony community.
It's amazing to actually like tie up the legal system with this crap.
Horse crap.
This is exactly what some of these lawyers, such as this gentleman, do, that really give lawyers a horrific name. This is exactly what they do. This is what I see as a frivolous lawsuit that's tying up courts' resources so that real, authentic, legitimate cases have to be pushed back, have to be delayed. The whole legal system's tied up because of lawyers like this gentleman who was a little personally insulted. And instead of taking it like a man, he has to bring it into the courtroom to get attention for himself.
It's mind-boggling how in an argument where he actually was allowed to talk, it wasn't like we turned his mic down. He was responding and I was responding.
Yes.
To drag the legal system into what amounted to two people arguing is mind-boggling.
Well, when I got the Google alert yesterday, I thought this was The Onion or something. I really thought this has to be a goof.
Fake.
Yeah, but it's real. Let's say hi to Dennis in Pennsylvania.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Go Phillies, by the way, Dennis.
Oh, boy.
I want to know, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm right here.
I want to know when tickets go on sale for your court appearances.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I actually will be selling tickets for my court appearances In Boston, November 15th, at my Wilbur Theater show, the 9:45 show. I don't know if it's sold out or not.
All right, let's continue here. So, down and dirty, blah, blah, blah. All right, so, joke that the chicken crossed the road to avoid having sex with Hollander. Here we go. The $500,000 lawsuit slams Norton as a wealthy fraud, masquerading as a man of the people.
First of all, I wish I was a wealthy fraud. I do well. But wealthy, I don't know. I don't think of what I make as wealthy.
Right.
But lost everything. You lost everything in the stock market the last 3 weeks.
Oh, am I taking a beating?
We all have.
About 70 G's down.
Oof.
Already.
On safe stocks.
And that's as of October 1st. My statement. I looked at my statement yesterday and I'm like, oh my
Only
God.
since October 1st?
No,
that's
up till October.
Up till October 1st. So it still doesn't include,
what
from
has
October
happened.
1st till now, where it's really taking a beating.
Right.
So I don't even.
It's funny you opened up your statement because I got mine yesterday.
You ever get your statements and just not open them?
That's exactly what I did yesterday.
I don't want to look.
I don't know why you looked. I got the statements from our guy, and I just threw them in the shredder. I swear to God, I'm like, I
don't want to look.
I can't even handle this. I can't even handle this. All right, so the $500,000 suit slams Norton as a wealthy fraud masquerading as a man of the people.
Wait, who runs around like I'm a man of the people?
You are a man of the people.
Maybe I think I am maybe I'm a man of the people. I mean, look, I spend a lot of money on sex.
Yes.
I mean, what kind of a big shot does that? I'm pretty much a man of the people.
You are.
You know what?
You're
That's what I am.
a man of the people.
And I'm going to sue you for saying I'm a wealthy fraud.
Yeah.
I'm an almost wealthy pervert. Get it right.
Not a fraud.
You know, it's a new century here. I think we got the trial of the century happening right in front of our eyes.
Yep.
It said his alleged humor centers on a 2000 event when he and other comedians were arrested for stuffing a Manhattan bus with topless women to promote the Opie and Anthony show.
What?
That comes out of nowhere.
Wow.
Wait.
The voyeur bus? Jimmy was famous before the voyeur bus.
Wait, but he said my humor, for someone that never heard of the show,
Yeah.
he dug 8 years back into the voyeur bus incident.
He Googled your name, Jimmy.
But why would that all of a sudden be one of my humor centers? This man's a silly goose.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly
Don't
is.
sue me for saying that.
It was just a Google.
He called me a ridiculous waterfowl. No, it was a silly goose.
This guy has such a foul mouth, I'm beginning to think he uses his tongue to clean up toilets, Hollander said.
This guy is funny. And you know what? You're not that far from the truth, kiddo.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, well, uses his mouth as a toilet.
But that's why a guy like that will sue.
Yeah.
This is right there in that statement. That's his idea of a funny comeback.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse. And I hate to tell you this, kiddo. I hate to tell you this if you're listening. And you are listening.
I'm sure he's taping and listening.
Please tape away.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than someone who's like a lawyer or some other profession, a doctor, anything, trying to be funny and not being funny. And in this statement, he uses his tongue to clean up toilets. That's how dirty his mouth is. That's your idea of a funny... How many times have you tried to be funny? Whether it's at your hip-hop dance class or other places. Wherever it is.
Or at that bar you go to try to score with the chicks that you were talking about.
And there's that awkward, uncomfortable silence.
Yeah.
Where they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Again, he tried to be funny.
That means you bombed.
Yeah. That's pathetic.
You know the guy's listening. Hollander, call up the dumb show, please. Let's discuss this. Norton did not respond to requests for comment. They always do this. They never
liar, pants on fire.
Well, whenever you get in trouble, they always say that they try to get a hold of you for comment. It's BS.
Yeah.
Jose didn't.
No one called us. No one called you. No one called our agent about this. Nothing.
No, we never hear anything.
The guy in the post who I'll get to, I have a problem with, or is it a girl, Dara, lied outright and said that I didn't respond to a phone call request, which is an out-and-out lie. That's just not the truth.
Yeah, but they all do that, and there's no real way to prove
except
it.
to say that
they get away with that all the time.
Yeah, except to say it's
a lie.
Oh, I know.
That's one way to deal with it.
True. The suit filed in Manhattan Supreme Court also calls Norton a celebrity suck-up who launched into profane on-air rants against Yankee captain Derek Jeter and Kiss frontman Gene Simmons because they wouldn't give him autographs.
No, see? Again,
See?
this guy's just
false.
out and out line. My tirade against Gene Simmons was because he wouldn't take a photo with me in Vegas when I did.
Right.
Please.
Not about an autograph.
Get my childlike kicking and screaming straight. Okay.
I kept reading.
I did blast Derek Jeter.
Of course, yeah.
I kept reading this yesterday going, this can't be real. This is so silly.
This is in court. This
is in court.
Yeah.
Some
court
judge has to deal with this.
This is the legal system has to be tangled up in this idiocy.
Yeah.
Some judge that could be better used doing something else, litigating some other, or officiating over some other case, is now tied up with this garbage because this guy felt he was insulted over on the phone when he's in the paper all the time. He's always bringing lawsuits.
Always.
And then you come on radio shows. I'm sure this isn't his first radio show.
I actually heard him on Tom Leykis.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it was a riveting
two must
interview.
Have gotten along.
It was. So you say you like to. It was a terrific, riveting interview.
So the guy obviously is looking for publicity. That's what he does. That's why you go on a radio show, to get publicity for whatever you're doing.
Sure.
Yeah. And then he doesn't like what we said or what Jimmy said to him or about him based on what he said. Jimmy didn't just pull this out of his crack and start rambling on about things. It was all based on what this guy was saying. He didn't just, you don't just pull out the guns and start blasting away. This guy wound up saying things where it gave us enough rope to hang him with. He was being, I don't know. His whole discussion about how he went to the hip hop class and how he goes out to the bars and tries to get these chicks and stuff was just. Ugh.
It was very laughable and very easy.
It was laughable.
Yeah.
Just picturing this guy that's way past his prime at a hip hop class.
And this is coming from Anthony once again.
Please, I'm certainly not past my prime, my friend. Let me tell you that.
You're still rocking.
Of course I am. But look at the picture of him right there. Could you see that at a hip hop class? And then we called him a hypocrite because he wouldn't. Some groups are fine to have their own classes in school, their own groups, and others aren't. He's a woman. It comes across to me as a misogynistic woman hater.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what I said to him at one point in the beginning was that's what I was like. What you said, I was like, I hope that you're not just kind of like a caricature in the sense of it's all about women. Like. It's almost like if you're against any type of exclusionary behavior, or like whether it's based on gender or race or sexual orientation, anything that is completely for a group is by nature to me exclusionary.
Right.
So that was what I was like. I kind of like the fact this guy is suing for those stupid lady nights, because if you had a guy night, some feminists would sue.
Yeah.
But then it turns out he's all for racial preferences. And then I think, I haven't heard the show since, and it turned into like the hip-hop class. I'm like, oh, he's one of those guys who's trying to appease. I get it.
Right.
And that inconsistency annoyed me tremendously, because to me, that was hypocritical thinking. I think that inconsistency bothered me.
We called him guilty white guy.
Yeah, if I remember, yeah.
He's guilty white guy. He's at the hip hop class. He's not. And it might sound funny for us to say, "Oh, this guy's misogynistic," but anytime we do anything, it's humor based when we go in that direction. This guy just, from his conversation over the phone, I found. That he came across as somebody that just legitimately doesn't like women.
Didn't he there was a situation with a wife where he got burned or something? And that's what I think where I really started to dislike him was when we talked about domestic violence. And he was implying that it was very even.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Something about
that
men and women have an equal thing.
As many
violence.
men get beaten by their women.
Something like that.
And it's like, where do you come up with that stat?
All right, listen, we're really late for a break. Let's at least get the rest of this article in, and then we'll take a break and get into the post and the phone calls. It's crazy. The Insult Comics website, eatabullet.com. You should hire this guy.
Just help you out.
You should hire this guy as your publicist. He's doing more than your publicist is doing. Features photos of Norton posing with rappers, rockers, actors, jocks, and porn stars. The comedian has been a co-host of the raunchy morning radio show since 2002. We were off the air in 2000. Well, I guess.
Yeah, part
of it. Okay. And is known for irritating celebrity guests by screaming on the air.
Now, that I disagree with.
What?
I'm not known for...
You're known for that, Jimmy.
I'm known for being a worm who gets... Who have I fought with? Jesse Ventura.
Right.
Penn Jillette once, and then we liked each other, and the wrestler Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
it's not like I fight with our celebrity guests.
You do a lot more than that, and in most cases, you're not fighting with the celebrity guests. Absolutely.
No, I'm usually groveling and pretending their movies are good when they suck. That was a Jim Dandy film you did.
Yeah. Hollander insisted he's willing to debate Norton on Opie and Anthony again, but said he's learned a lesson. The next time somebody starts cursing on me on the air, I'll just hang up, he said. They're just a bunch of cowards who hide behind microphones.
Oh,
but
no.
we called him a coward. Now he's calling us cowards.
That's not nice.
Oh,
that's
boy.
name call. Don't defame me. I'm not a coward.
Why you?
I'm
There'll
a
be
girly man.
Countersuit.
Yeah. Let's jump into a break. The phones aren't going anywhere. Everyone has a comment. If you want to add to the comments, 877-212-ONDAY. And then you have issue with the posts and their article.
A little bit, yeah, not a big one. I don't like the fact they show a photo of Opie, Anthony, and the lawyer. And how about old brown eyes here?
Well, the picture is taken from your viewpoint.
Okay,
it's Norton's eye.
Jesus.
Good point. Thank you. That's a good spin.
Poor Jimmy. Opie and Anthony.
So I was driving and I was riding. And all of a sudden, I'm like, "Holy mackerel! I'm at 90 miles an hour."
90,
and I mean smooth as silk, just zipping along. So I said, "Let me
Thruway."
Yes, Thruway North.
Yep.
And it wasn't that. It was faster than traffic, but there was so much. I felt comfortable. I could see the cars way up in front of me. So I got it up to 103. I've never driven 100 miles an hour.
103 for Jimmy
is hilarious.
Is doing 800 miles an hour.
No offense to Jimmy, but you look at Anthony, 103, 105, you're like, You look at Jimmy, 103, 105, and you openly have to laugh.
Yeah, it's
I don't
crazy
do that.
for Jimmy.
That's just not you.
It's crazy for Jimmy.
I don't do that. But it was fun. And I said, Kenny, I want to do that again.
I will do it again.
I said, do you dare me? And he didn't say anything. So I gunned it, and I hit 105.
Jesus.
But thank God I hit the brakes as I saw the fucking state trooper sitting and watching me.
Oh.
And then I was continuing on, and I'm like, okay, I don't think he's going to come out.
This is horrible. I thought you were going to go for Sammy.
What music is this?
I swear I thought you were going to go Sammy.
What is this?
It's just some awesome chase music that Derek found one day. It's the best.
Like, this is driving fast music.
I know.
From like Chips.
I was just going to say John and Punch followed me.
This is what Derek hears in his head all day long.
Punch took his unclipped cock.
That's right. I got out of my ticket for the good suckling.
Shoved it out into your mouth and then gave you some swampland in Florida to buy.
And still ticketed me for being a Mary. So I fucking, I had that moment after I'm looking in the rearview mirror and he hadn't popped out. It was like a, uh-oh.
Oh, my God, are you all right?
I am.
He's got the sniffles.
So I was like, oh, he's not coming out. And then...
You pass him at 103 and 105 and he's not coming out.
Then I looked and I saw him coming out and I'm like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go into the right lane because he won't notice me.
Yes.
In my BMW X6.
I'll
hide. Yes, I'm hiding.
We've all tried that move, though.
Yeah, it only works as Smokey and the Bandit. He's pounding down when you save as your mother's womb, darling. That's the only time that works. So I'm trying to hide, and all of a sudden he starts zipping up, and I'm like, well, he's not coming into our lane. And then, he came right in our lane, and boy.
Well, this is Sheriff Buford T. Justice, and I'm tail grabbing your ass right now.
Well, Sheriff, were we speeding?
You look a lot dumber on the radio.
Smokey and the retard.
Smokey.
And the retard.
I got pulled over.
Oh, no.
And he looked like the guy for Smokey. I don't care if you're Broderick Crawford. He comes up to Kenny's side, and he's a short guy.
Yeah.
And I get my license and Reggie out, his dad would say, and he comes over, and thank God Kenny talked to him. Kenny goes, he was speeding a little, huh?
That is the best thing. He was speeding a little, huh?
And the guy goes, but the guy wasn't a dick. He was a New York State trooper. And he goes, yeah, I got him up in the 90s. So I guess I had slowed down a bit before I saw him in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I heard that. I was like, ugh. and I wanted to go. I was up to 105. I swear to God.
Don't you think that?
Yeah.
That's what I say. It's like, he goes, because I got pulled over and the cop was like, you passed me at about 90 miles an hour. And I'm like, I was doing at least 110. 90?
90? What am I, fag?
90. I drive 90 with people's fucking kids in the car.
Yeah. So I handed over my information, and he took it, and Kenny's like, Kenny's talking about me like I'm his 15-year-old son. He goes, he just got the thing. He's trying it out. I'm 40.
I'm very proud of my boy.
Right. And then Kenny goes, I'm a retired police officer, do you think? And the guy goes, well, do you have any ID? So Kenny shows the ID. And the guy was really fucking cool, man. He was such a non-dick. He's like, all right, man, just take it easy. He didn't make no lecture, and he didn't even check my stuff. He just handed it right back.
Did you turn to Kenny before the cop got there and goes, don't worry, I'll handle this, man.
Yeah.
I thought we could take care of it right here in Brainerd.
Well, as the cop was walking back to his car, I gunned it and shot gravel on the back of his state trooper hat and fucking Amstrayed. But I was fucking Kenny cautious, and I'm driving. The next time we saw him a few miles down the road, and I was doing 68 in a 65 zone, and I'm like, I'll bet you he's so proud right now. He just saw me fucking cruise control zip on by.
Yep.
3 miles over the limit. Hoo-dee-doo, look at me. Just a good boy, obeying all limits.
And how slow does 65 seem when you were doing 100?
It's like shitting on your stomach in 10-degree weather. How fast the log comes out?
It's horrible.
With a dick pushing it back in.
You're cruise control Jimmy now.
I really am. I'm a safe driver.
Yeah.
There is definitely a room in this country for an Autobahn type roadway.
Hell the fuck yeah.
Maybe not in the big cities. I understand it's not going to happen on Long Island or New York or anything like that. New York City.
The thruway
is fine. But the Midwest, places like that, an hour is. The cars nowadays are made to go 100 miles an hour safely. Mm-hmm. It's astounding how slow 55 miles an hour is.
That X6 boogies.
Yeah, huh?
And I'm not, again, I didn't even want the V8. I wanted the V6, but the one they had at the place I went in Jersey.
You gotta go with the 8.
That's what he had. So I took it. And
Did you get the True Code?
I did, yeah. He talked to the manager. That motherfucker moved. I could have done 130 without batting an eye.
Yeah. Exhilarating, though. A little bit, right?
Yeah.
You like that?
I looked down, and I said to Ken, I can't believe it. I'm coming. And he went,
You know what it is, too? It's like when you're driving and doing the speed limit, you're talking to, Kenny's in the car, so you maybe talking, you fuck with the radio. You're looking around at some shit like that. Yeah,
I like to
text like that.
when I'm going.
When you're doing over 100, weren't you just completely fixated and focused on the road?
I was, man.
You become like focused.
It was like, and I realized how fast I was going when he was pulling me over. And I'm slowing down. I'm hitting the brake, and I'm still going very quickly. I'm like, oh boy, I was speeding.
Yeah, going a little fast.
You don't feel it in that truck, man.
Yeah,
that's it's fucking that motherfucker.
Fantastic.
Wow, did that? I'm getting my Sirius XM because BMW didn't have the best of XM package availability.
Fuckers!
That's what I said. Bavarian Motorwork Germans. So I waited, and they're going to put that in. Monday, I think. I get the best of Sirius X with the best of XM on the Sirius.
I did that with my new truck.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's one phone call to bladder.
No, the radio. I didn't get it because the Sirius that BMW had, they didn't have the chips with best of XM capability.
Right.
They had Sirius, but I said, "Fuck that shit, man."
Yeah.
And I said it exactly like that. And the sales crew looked at me.
I got to get that for my Stang. Yeah, Jimmy, I'm proud of you, Jim.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I cruise controlled on the way home, 76.
76.
Oh, really?
I did a lot of the driving. And it had a live flat seat. And then I gave it to Dodo, and he drove. Ugh. And I was I was lying flat on my back in my passenger seat.
Oh, I love when a seat goes all the way back.
Is Radar Love one of the greatest driving songs of all time? I know it's kind of a hacky radio bit, but